Phil Hellmuth is looking down at Jack-9 offsuit. Preflop begins with a strategic dynamic that sets a dangerous trap for the table's most famous personality. Hellmuth, the poker brat himself, initiates the action from middle position with Jack-9 offsuit. Opening such a speculative hand is a classic Hellmuth field play. He is looking to navigate post-flop streets rather than relying on raw card equity. The flop falls an absolute dream for Hellmuth. He has flopped top two pair, a monster in a multi-way pot. However, the action takes an unorthodox turn when Stern decides to lead out with a donk bet. This move is designed to confuse the aggressor and define the hand immediately. Stern is currently sitting with queen high, but he has an open-ended straight draw to make the nuts. Friedman wisely gets out of the way, but Hellmuth realizes he cannot play passively on such a coordinated board. He executes a powerful raise to 15,000, effectively charging any draws.
Wow, nice hand.
The turn brings the 8, which is the single most catastrophic card in the deck for Hellmuth. It completes the straight for Stern. In a brilliant tactical reversal, Stern does not check to the razor. He leads out again for 25,000. This is a masterclass in psychological warfare. By leading out after the board gets scarier, Stern makes his hand look like a semi-bluff or a pair of jacks that is scared of the straight. Hellmuth is now in a strategic torture chamber. He still holds two pair, but he is staring at a straight on the board. The river is the 7, a card that puts even more straights on the board and makes the hierarchy even muddier. Stern, sensing that Hellmuth is in call-down mode, fires a final value bet of 35,000. He is asking Hellmuth to pay a significant tax to see the winner. Hellmuth enters a deep tank, visibly agonized by the board runout. He knows that any 10 or 5 beats him, yet his two pair feels too precious to release.
Is this for real? I mean, are these hands for real?
Phil's impression of David after dentist.
Wow. What can I beat? I mean, I guess I can beat Jack-8. All right.
Phil calls.
Ejector seat in 3, 2, 1, blast off.
I'm shocked he called. I didn't think he was gonna call.
Are these hands for real?
I don't know what you could have to call the raise and just fire. That was weird. I thought you were gonna lay that one down, brother.
Nice hand, buddy.
Nice hand, buddy. Where's my blow up?
Okay, I'll lead it off. You want to go?
I mean, what the
That's more like it.
Peeled an 8 off for me. Can't come up.
So?
So sick. You can't find a queen on the turn so that he can lose like 50,000 almost dead or... No.
Donnie raises.
Frickin' guy, just an 8. Put in 15,000 to draw to an open under. Finally decided to play a big hand with the nuts. And they hit their miracle there too.
I thought you said you had 10-8.
I didn't think you were that stupid to believe it, but maybe you are.
I mean, I didn't think you were stupid enough to call, but since we're making personal attacks already.
Yeah, another bad winner, huh?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-10 offsuit. Preflop begins with a strategic setup that perfectly illustrates the kicker trouble trap, which often defines high-stakes amateur versus pro dynamics.
The other hand.
Mr. Businessman.
The businessman.
Williams
The
folds.
businessman.
I love it. I love it. Let's go.
Locks out 2.
Mr. Value Bet. You just look at me like a piggy bank.
The flop falls 3 diamonds, and it couldn't have been better for Perkins. Hellmuth, despite being the pre-flop aggressor, decides to check. This is a classic small ball move from Hellmuth. He realizes his ace is a good draw and wants to let the other players define themselves before he makes a move. The turn brings the 10, the absolute doom card for this specific hand configuration. Hellmuth has now improved to top pair, but the hierarchy is brutal. Hellmuth leads out for 6,000, finally betting for value and protection now that he has connected with the board. Fishman wisely folds his deuces. However,
Min raise.
Perkins decides to ramp up the aggression. He executes a min raise to 12,000. Perkins is finally starting to snap the trap on Hellmuth, who decides to make the sticky call. The river is the 4, a complete brick that changes nothing about the hand values. Hellmuth checks, adhering to his defensive posture after being raised on the turn. He is now purely in bluff catch mode. Perkins, having committed to his aggressive line, now faces a critical value sizing decision. He fires a curious bet of 6,000.
This she's running so good.
Businessman is turning over queen-high flushes.
That's supreme donkey to you, sir.
I mean,
Woo, I was dodging that. I was dodging that ace. I dodged that ace of diamonds. Bullets were flying.
How did you flop 3 diamonds with the 2 in your hand, and then defend against 2 more diamonds coming out? How did
well,
you...
I mean, how lucky did I get? I'm check raising them all in on the flop. I had the nut flush draw, and it's the businessman, you know.
What business are you in, Mr. Businessman?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-king offsuit. Stern initiates the action from early position with pocket 5s. A classic speculative hand that thrives on set, mining or outplaying opponents on low, uncoordinated boards. He raises to 1,500. Hellmuth, sitting in middle position with ace-king offsuit, decides to exert his dominance. He executes a textbook 3-bet to 5,500. This is a definitive statement of strength. The flop falls a dry and paired texture that creates an immediate strategic stalemate. Hellmuth, despite being the pre-flop aggressor, checks his ace-king. This is a disciplined small ball move in a 3-way pot on a paired board. A continuation bet often only gets action from hands that have him crushed, like a queen or a pocket pair. Capella also checks his air. Stern, however, decides to take a stab at the pot. He leads out for 8,500. This lead into the 3-better is a probing move designed to define Hellmuth's range immediately. Hellmuth, sensing that Stern might be testing him with a smaller pair or a total airball, decides to make a sticky call. He is floating with ace-high, intending to gather more information on the turn. The turn brings the 6. Hellmuth checks for a second time, sticking to his defensive, investigative line. He is effectively playing check call mode, hoping to see a cheap showdown or waiting for Stern to show a sign of weakness. This is the pivotal moment for Stern. Holding pocket 5s, he currently has the best hand, but it is incredibly fragile. The river is the 7. Hellmuth checks for a third time. He has reached the end of the hand with ace-high, and his only hope of winning is a check-check showdown. Stern looks at his pair of 5s and has one last decision to make. He considers a value bet, but he realizes that Hellmuth is unlikely to call with a worse hand.
Stern checks,
ace-king.
and Stern wins a pot of more than 34 grand.
Pretty good check there.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Damn son of a...
This is my favorite part.
He had a lot of outs there. Same.
I think you could have bluffed him too. I think
course I
Danny's
could have
gonna fold.
bluffed
If you
him,
bet
but-
the river, you're gonna fold, right, Donnie?
He called the river.
If he bet,
for sure.
if he bet $2,200,
I would have raised.
he could have bet $2,200, I think.
You guys are never smart enough to raise the right amount.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Man.
That's just Phil's way of saying, nice hand.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at pocket 10s.
100, 200, 300.
Hearing Phil talk about Alex, I kind of want Alex to felt him on this hand.
Pre-flop captures the absolute chaos of the creator game, where traditional poker logic often goes out the window in favor of ego. Mr. Beast, the YouTube titan known for his splashy style, opens the action to 1,000 with 9-8 offsuit. It is a loose open, but standard for his image. Tom Dwan calls, and then the action falls to Phil Hellmuth. Sitting with pocket 10s, Phil decides to put an end to the nonsense immediately. He puts in a massive 3-bet to 13,000. This is Phil's signature play, an oversized raise designed to punish the amateurs and take down the dead money right there. However, Alexandra Botez, the chess grandmaster turned poker player, has other plans.
I want everyone to know that what's happening at this table is most certainly not poker. It's something far different, you know?
I like this game a lot better.
Call it addiction.
She makes the cold call, likely relying on the immense implied odds and the fact that she has position on the poker brat. This sets off a chain reaction. Mr. Beast and Dwan both called a huge price, creating a bloated four-way pot of over $52,000 going to the flop. Phil Hellmuth is now trapped in a nightmare. He has built a massive pot with a medium pair.
But it's rare we get all these people together in the same spot. We should enjoy it.
It is nice.
The flop falls.
The flush for Alexandra Botez. The rich get richer.
Hellmuth checks immediately. Phil's pocket tens have gone from a premium holding to a mere underpair. He is in survival mode, hoping to see a free turn card or get to a cheap showdown.
Raise to 50.
That is 50,000.
Ridiculous.
You know, if you did like 20, I probably would have called, but have fun with that.
Really? I thought you called everything.
What'd you call 13,000 with this time? King, queen offsuit or some shit?
Calm down.
Run it out. Let me see it.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I may have been too aggressive. That was my bad.
What the fuck is going on here?
I could watch this for like, I don't even know, a week straight.
She's gonna give it all to me. We should call this some bullshit hand. What do you think?
But also, you were cool.
Can I play behind?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at King 10 offsuit.
To the fans at home, no one even has a chance of understanding.
There are some fans at home that are like, oh wait, I see Phil's playing just based on reads.
Call.
And you know, but then they don't understand the subtlety of the trapping game.
Raise. 1,000 then.
The trapping game's a long-term game.
We head to the flop three-way, with Phil out of position and holding a marginal hand against a pre-flop raiser who likely has him crushed. This is a chaotic texture. JR has flopped middle set with his queens, a monster hand, but on a monotone board, he is terrified of the flush. Phil is chasing, but he also knows that his 10 of clubs is a powerful blocker. If the fourth club hits, he can represent the nuts even if he doesn't have it.
Turn.
Not be offended. Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Here, Hellmuth makes a move that baffles modern pros. He leads out, a donk bet, for 6,000. This is Phil trying to seize control of the pot cheaply, perhaps sensing that JR is scared of the ace or the flush. JR, however, is not buying it. Holding a set, he raises to 19,000. He wants to charge Phil for drawing. Keating folds, but Phil makes a stubborn call.
The fuck do you have? Aces and queens?
What is Hellmuth doing here? Call 13,000. Is he going to represent a club? Well, the river's a 5. He's got king high.
Keating and I are going to chug a beer.
What's going on here?
Old world style. If you guys have a porno, I'll have one. What?
22,000. He calls with king high. Mr. Reed. What a read. Wow.
Well, I think that was someone's table, Chimon.
Flabbergasting.
That was their Corona. Okay.
Fuck, I got fucked up because of the app game. Because Jared bluffs all his money off on the app game. Just a big ace is good enough to lead out just so he could bluff me. I let out just so he would raise. He fell for it, but he had a set. Later I'm going to lead out with the nuts he's going to raise. I have to. You won all that money? I called you with ace 10.
Yeah.
I won all that money because of the app game. Guys, but now it's my turn.
Just have a Corona.
I forgot how tight you're playing today.
Hellmuth kicks things off with pocket deuce. This is a hand that only someone as wild as Phil Hellmuth can play when faced with a raise. Little does he know, his aggression will end up making him mad once again.
You were like drawing dead.
Right after making the call, Hellmuth plays one of his special cards. Complete shithousery. He directly calls out his opponent for drawing dead and bluffing him. Let's see if it will work out. Perkins completely unbothered by Hellmuth's antics calls with 8-4 suited. I guess these must be his lucky numbers, or else I don't see a reason why he would go three-way with these cards. The flop is here, and oh boy, does it deliver some drama. We have 5 with 2 jacks. Now it can be anyone's game. Let's see what Hellmuth will do here. With Perkins and Williams both showing weakness with their checks, Hellmuth will want to take control of the pot. To do that, he instantly fires a bet for $4,000. Perkins with his 8-4 suited didn't have to think too long about what to do next, and does what every one of us would do in this spot and folds. Williams, on the other hand, didn't think at all. He snap-called the bet as if he is holding the nuts and is just waiting for Hellmuth to bloat the pot some more. The turn delivers a queen of clubs, which makes things even more interesting. Now Williams has an open-ended straight draw and is looking stronger than ever in this hand. Even though the turn improved his hand, Williams still decides to check in order to see how Hellmuth will play it out first. And that's exactly what Hellmuth was waiting for. After no more than a few seconds of thinking, he fires another 4,000 bet, trying to pressure Williams out of seeing the river. For better or for worse, Williams almost snap calls the bet, which means he either thinks Hellmuth has nothing or is just feeling super lucky.
Even a 5 or a queen can counterfeit Phil's hand.
The turn delivers a king, which completely shifts the game, and Williams is now in the lead. Make sure to watch until the end to see Hellmuth going crazy after the showdown.
King.
Here it comes.
That's the ejector seat straight out of Goldfinger. Yums.
Moron, mother.